Good morning, class. I am Michael Malva, and in my case analysis presentation, I will be in a three short minute case analysis. I have, and what was assigned by me by my professor was Hutchins versus KQED 1978. First, let me apologize that I couldn't get through YouTube because YouTube said that I should have 24 hours after they updated my account 24 hours, so there's no way I can upload my video on YouTube. So I hope and pray that the channel through this means. What in the case of Hutchins versus KQED in 1978, it's clear that the First Amendment, and in what we say in Hutchins versus uh, KQED 438 US 1 1978. Now, just to briefly to what I will explain in the next 1 to 2 minutes, is that the Supreme Court ruled that the First Amendment guarantee of a free speech does not include an unlimited right to government information or sources of that information under government's control, and that the media does not have an unlimited constitutional right to access of jail or similar facilities. I did posted the link on detail, but what happened in his trial was that there were limitation to the freedom of expression or freedom of control, to where the First Amendment, as we have been discussing, guaranteed our right to speak freely. But there are times and limitations when we cannot speak and have visitations to jails because of some political or left wing conspiracy. I will leave it to that. But what I do understand in this case, that the law, the First Amendment, limit lots of right within the Hutchins case that could not go further because of the constraints that were attached to it. Again, the sheriff Thomas Hutton, he denied the full request, but offered KQED the opportunity to take regular tours of the facility that were open. So after he was in prison, journalists and other practitioners, media practitioners, couldn't go in there because they felt it temper with the case. There were restraints on journalists going into the prison to meet with the client to discuss about what was ongoing. In my opinion, I feel that that was disenchantment on the right of the client, KQED. Under the law is guaranteed the right for lawyers or legal practitioners to meet their client and discuss details, but those rights were denied. Then I come back to where it is when we say free speech. That's not free speech. All right? The court did not guarantee the full access to KQED or case where lawyers or legal practitioners could visit and adhere and take information. They felt that were against the norms of what the law states, and that had the consequences to limit his First Amendment rights, the right that is guaranteed to freedom of speech or expression. That right was not guaranteed. further on, and even in the book, even in our textbook, it also says that a few years later, the court again upheld restrictions imposed on jail visits. So the court imposed jail visits. Now, if the court imposes a jail visit to see his or her client, or wants to see his or her client, what is that? That is a limitation of our First Amendment to where we say it's guaranteed freedom of speech. And I believe that it is, and it is against the First Amendment right of KQED. There should have been an open dialogue, an open process once that information, or those informations that would have been gathered from his legal aides and even media practitioners, because the legal team should be the one that will disseminate the information to the media or the press people. So once the press come to have an interview with the client has the right to to talk or not to talk. But in most cases, you don't talk once you have your legal team. Your legal team does all of the talking. So there shouldn't be no reason why his legal team should have been not having the full right. And there should have been no reasons why there should have been restrictions on that case. I see that had been a downplay on his right guarantee in our First Amendment, and that is obnoxious and does not give us the right that we deserve. Thank you.